Kevin Thornton is trying to start a new life at age 38. After serving 11 and a half years in prison for a robbery he says he didn't commit, he was released to a Cincinnati halfway house last month. The transition back to freedom is overwhelming. For years, he spent 20 hours a day in a cell where he could touch both walls when he spread his arms.
I just sat and thought about, my life and stuff and how everything's been took from me. I didn't commit the crime I was charged with.
The Ohio Innocence Project at the University of Cincinnati Law School started working to free Kevin 8 years ago. They say they've discovered new scientific proof that the man police say is shown in this surveillance video robbing a check cashing store in Milford in 2007 is not him. Kevin's attorney, Donald Castor, is hopeful his conviction will finally be overturned.
Kevin's case isn't just about a witness recanting prior testimony. Kevin's case involves two different pieces of scientific evidence, a video analysis and DNA evidence.
Nearly 10,000 inmates have asked the Innocence Project for help since 2003. It has taken fewer than 50 cases to court and won exonerations in just 28 of them, but not for Kevin.
DNA evidence for the courts is usually the gold standard. So we've been very surprised, given the strength of the evidence, that we haven't been successful in setting aside Kevin's conviction.
The Innocence Project sent zip ties used during the robbery away for DNA testing. Castor says the results revealed the DNA of a man and confirmed that man is not Kevin. Perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from scientific expert Phil Locke, who analyzed the surveillance video. He walks the 9 on Your Side I-Team through the images.
Here's where the top of Kevin's head would have been if he were the perpetrator.
There's a big gap there.
There's a big gap.
Locke used photogrammetry, or the measurement of known objects, such as the height of the door frame, to determine the size of unknown objects, in this case, the height of the robber.
So there's a 5-inch difference between the height of the perpetrator and the height of Kevin Thornton.
Correct. It means that's not Kevin.
The original trial judge calls this new evidence compelling in 2012 court records, yet he still denied Kevin's appeal. He ruled that Kevin's initial defense attorney should have uncovered the evidence and presented it to the jury.
These are the cases that keep us awake at night, the cases where we know our client is innocent, and we've even been able to prove that our client is innocent. But the judges say, nope, there are procedural barriers that I can't find a way around, so the conviction stands.
The Ohio Attorney General's office is fighting to keep Kevin's conviction intact. A spokesman tells the I-Team the AG can't comment on pending litigation. Last month, the AG's office criticized the new evidence in court filings, saying, quote, the perpetrator was wearing gloves at the time of the offense, and this would account for the absence of DNA on the ties. How does the AG's office explain the height difference Locke discovered from analyzing the surveillance images? They call it competing eyewitness testimony. That's not a slam dunk.
You know the expression, don't get me started? Don't get me started on the justice system. In my opinion, it's badly broken.
During the trial, the store clerk identified Kevin as the man who robbed her.
The store employee as an eyewitness, and the store employee acknowledged that she couldn't see the perpetrator's whole face. And in fact, when she looked at photographs of suspects, she had to put her fingers over the top half of every suspect's face in order to decide whether or not it was the person that she wanted to identify.
Kevin will be released from the halfway house in December. He'll be on probation for 5 years and must register as a violent offender. He worries this will hurt his chances of finding a job or a place to live.
I want my name cleared. That's what I want now, you know what I mean? I get my life back, because until that happens, I'm never going to have my life back.
The federal magistrate who ruled against Kevin 2 weeks ago said exonerating him was beyond the authority of federal courts. Now the decision is up to U.S. District Court Judge Michael Barrett and could come anytime. Paula Christian, 9 on Your Side.